green flag tonight. It should be a great way to kick off again part 2 of the 2013 campaign for the MIRL. We're now going to set it down tracks.
Car of Nathan Doherty in 13th. 14th belongs to the 27 of Carter Wilson. In 15th position, the number 5, that's Patrick Healy.
21st spot, the 24 of Mark Williams. 22nd, the 75 of Tim Terry. Starting 23rd, the 00 of Martin Landry. And starting 24th, the 45 of Mackenzie Brewer. Also starting in the 25th position, this is the number 57 of Jeff Gilmore. And starting 26th, the number 4 of Luke Casey. Starting 27th. And at the end of the field, it is the number 3 of Jarrett Busher looking to work his way up through the field. The field now rolling off of the grid. We're going to be looking for the green flag here in 1 or 2 laps. Again, the Lanier National Speedway kicking off part 2 of the 2013 campaign. We are no longer doing heats. That system has been scrapped, and now it's some full-length races here on ETV Live.
150 laps here at Lanier, 3/8 mile track, and here's how it stands out. The top 18 drivers, they get to automatically sit on the grid, top 18 from last season, season number 1. So 6 qualifiers in from the Monday night race, and we're set to go racing here at Lanier Speedway. And I'll tell you what, 150 laps in a late model car, this is going to be a fun night of racing for sure.
And definitely earlier in the season, the spring points champion is starting shotgun on the field. We're looking to take the green. There it is, and the 42 of Dylan Duvall leads us to the green flag. We are racing at the Speedway. Everybody trying to find a position as they work their way in through turns 1 and 2. They're going to make it into the back straightaway, still side by side for second, as now the 34 of Mike Rhino takes that spot.
2 by 2 all the way to the back of the pack, Cowboy. And I'll tell you what, these guys are absolutely getting after it all the way back here. Martin Landry off the pace here a little bit, and we're going to kind of slow things down here on lap 4 for a tribute. Evan, you've got some more information on that.
And definitely Mikey Stevens passed away, unfortunately, in a truck race that is associated with this racing group in August. His number 4, we're going to pay tribute to him on this lap. Clean and green here, still now working lap 5. Race leader now, Dylan Duvall, opening up about 6 car lengths lead over the second place car, the 34 of Mike Rhino, but he has a challenger behind him, the number 61 of Ricky Arbeau, trying to battle after Arbeau dropped from second to third on that restart. Still good hard battling up front. Meanwhile, through the field, everybody's still trying to get things sorted out. A short racetrack, so you really can't sit around and you're going to lose your lap quick, and 150 laps is going to be a tough track to tame.
Back here in about 8th position, 8th, 9th, 10th position back here to 52. That's going to be Steven Arsenal up there on the top side, kind of holding up the traffic. The 9 on the bottom, that's Craig McDonald down here. But Arsenal kind of holding up the traffic and start backing up. Kevin Savory in the 88 machine riding the top side up here. Along comes the 38 here on the bottom. That's going to be Travis Roma. So kind of a 2 by 2 situation back here as these guys try to get it all sorted out. In the meantime, the 27 looking for a way around. That's Carter Wilson in 12th position back here, trying to figure out a way to get past these guys and get to the front of them.
Definitely the 2 cars that are still side by side. The 9th place car being the 88 of Kevin Savory on the top, trying to hold off the 38 of Travis Roma. Roma been battling hard there on the inside the last couple laps. He's going to clear the 88 that time. 88 takes a look to the inside, going back into 1. He's going to pull back. So give that spot. The 38 of Travis Roma is going to pick it up with a nice move there going into turn number 3. The 33 car now going around. The caution flag will fly. 23 involved as well. First caution is going to come out here tonight around lap 11. This incident looks like it happened coming off of, I do believe that is the back straightaway. We had 2 cars involved, the 33 and the 23. We're getting the replay loaded up on the E-Wine. Looks like going into the corner, maybe the 33 got on the brakes a little bit harder than that 23 of Sean Waterfield was expecting. Waterfield just made slight contact with that right rear bumper, and that sent the 33 car around, and the 23 was out of shape and actually spun coming off of the corner and actually made pretty heavy contact with that inside wall. So the front of the race car is definitely destroyed. Tough break for that driver early on into this race. However, the 33 spun it out, did not make contact with the wall or any other cars.
nice save for Doug Hubley in that 33 machine for sure. Keeping it off that inside wall. Came close, missed the barrels, but no damage to the sheet metal on the 33 machine tonight.
And definitely, again, this caution coming out on lap 11 of 150 laps. Man, that flew by. We saw a whole bunch of great racing happening around that 8th position there. And that, as soon as they started to get it sorted out, is when that caution flag flew. So that's looking to be an interesting battle throughout the night. A lot of race cars around that area that are pretty even. And it should be interesting to see how that goes. Again, we mentioned 6 drivers racing their way into tonight's race, including right now your current race leader being Dylan Duval. They got through the MIRL Sportsman Division, which runs on Monday nights, which is not covered here on ETVLIVE. And then those top 6 qualifying for tonight's race in the Premier Series, the MIRL Super Series occurring Wednesday nights here on ETVLIVE. So Dylan Duval, again, we mentioned having some history in that Monday night race with Craig McDonald. McDonald in the 6th position, looking for those guys to race each other hard for tonight's race. But again, still working under caution here at lap 16.
You bet. I'll tell you what, with 16 laps in the books, they do go quick, and one of the reasons is because they only do about 14.5 seconds around this whole track. So lickety split is the name of the game here. Dylan Duval, Mike Rhino, Ricky Arbeau, Ronald McKay, rounding out your top 5 on the restart. Green flag will come out shortly. Keith Mack in the number 22 machine, and we're back to racing here at Lanier.
Side by side for second now. The 61 Ricky Arbeau is going to battle Mike Rhino. He's going to pick up the spot on that inside 34 all the way up to the wall, trying to get as much speed as he can. Arbeau going to make the pass there off turn number 4, so put Mike Rhino. And now we're side by side. The 38 of Travis Roma trying to make something work on the top side in 9th.
And looking back here, about 16th position, that's number 5, Patrick Healy back here, looking at a wad of cars out in front of him. Let's start out with Tim Terry up there in that number 75 car of his with MRN on the back bumper back there. He's trying to chase down the number 6 of Nathan Doherty right ahead. So kind of a wad of cars here a little bit ago, but as they start getting it straightened out, Tim Terry just kind of rolling through here, looking on the top side for a possible pass here on the upside here on the 6th machine. Is it going to get it done? Has to.
The 23, Sean Waterfield, around again for the second time tonight. Caution flag will fly on lap number 20. Taking a look, the 23 in the inside wall. That's Sean Waterfield running in the 21st position. We know that he made heavy contact with that inside wall after he got into the back bumper of the 33 of Doug Hubley. That 23 car got loose coming up the corner off that contact and got into the inside wall, possibly damaged. Or taking a look on the replay there, just lost the handle on it through turn 4, spun to the inside, did not quite get into the wall. I guess he was trying to take a quick trip to victory lane there on the inside, but it is going to bring out our second caution of the night.
You bet. Kind of just missed that opening there, Denner, on the inside wall, but lucky enough to save the sheet metal this time around. And, of course, bringing that one out for the second time.
And definitely taking a look through the top 5 right now. Current race leader, again, Dylan Duval in that number 42, sponsored by GX Gaming. Actually, his real racing connection in real life is an N second, Keith Mack in 3rd, Ronald McKay in the 4th position, and in 5th, how about that car, the number 9, Craig McDonald, in the short green flag runs that we've seen, has driven his car from the 11th to 5th position so far. So keep an eye on that number 9 throughout the night. Still early and is definitely fast on that car.
A little note about Craig McDonald, Devin. He is a Bandolero driver, 2-time SSW feature winner in 2013. So the real deal behind the wheel here tonight, that's Craig McDonald.
And definitely relatively short cautions at this racetrack. They do put a couple of laps into them, but since the racetrack, again, only 0.38 miles, it goes by quick, and the lights are already off on that Ford First Racing Mustang pace car. So as the field works their way down the back straightaway, we're going to be looking for the green flag this time by on both of our starts and restarts, so to speak. So far, that 3rd place car has passed the 2nd place car on the restart. Let's see, that field is in the hands of Duval. Duval waits, 61 goes, and the advantage is actually to Arbeau on that restart. 61 beating the 42 to the line. Now the 42 of Dylan Duval battling back on the inside. They're still side by side for the lead going into turns number 3 and 4. Now the advantage goes to the 42. Can't quite clear the 61, but it looks like he's going to try to pull away in one. 61 hanging on tough, but the 42 is going to hold on to the lead.
Keith Mack up here in third position. He had to fight to get that one and took it from the 97 of Ronald McKay back here in fourth position. So as these guys battle it out deep in the field back here, about let's call it ninth position here. Carter Wilson, he again, he's got a wad of car down front. That's a 27 car back here. He's got Stefan Arsenault out here in front in eighth position. That's the 52 machine. And then side by side, the 34 and the 88 machine as they get it sorted out. Oh, it looks like the 9 machine almost getting sideways here. That was Craig McDonald up here. We just talked about him. He's the pilot of a real car, a real race car, Bandolero driver, but able to save it here at Lanier. So that's that could have been pretty devastating.
Yeah, that was a close call. Taking a look at the 7th place car right now, the 34 of Mike Rhino right now on the outside of the 27 of Carter Wilson, the 52 car. Stefan Arsenault, you mentioned, just making his move now, the 27 and the 34 rather, side by side. It looks like those drivers on the inside are having the advantage in the middle or exit of the corner, and now you see the 27 of Wilson pick up that spot. So the 34 of Mike Rhino has lost a handful of spots. He started this race in the 3rd position, so looking to try to get his bearings set and then try to start moving back forward on the field and try to get back up front. Dylan Duval now a 7/10 second lead over Ricky Arbeau in the 2nd position. Other than that, no changes in the top 5.
It was just about 3 laps ago. Tim Terry in the 75 machine's up back here in 14th position. He gave the boot to the 38 of Travis Roma, and Terry had to really jump off the brakes after that, and it cost him a position. And that's going to be, I believe, Martin Landry in the 00 machine as the caution comes out for the 3rd time here at Lanier.
Big incident, the 33 involved, 45 involved, 3rd caution of the night. We have a car stuck inside of the catch fence right now, and it looks like the incident is going to go to the 33, causing that another car that we saw involved in that first incident catching the wall coming up off 4, goes down collecting the 11 car of I do believe that is the 11, yes, of Vic Greenwood. Greenwood then comes back up in front of traffic, gets nailed in the right side by the 45 of Mackenzie Brewer. 11 then goes upside down, gets more contact, but the 6 gets stuck in the fence. The 6 car, the 86, the 23, all getting damage from that. And with a concrete wall on your left-hand side and right-hand side, there's not a lot of room for error.
Nope, there ain't. And I tell you, I don't know that these little tracks have safer barriers in them. It's not that they go, as fast as the Cup cars, but ouch, could give you a headache for sure. But 3rd caution here at Lanier with the MIRL, Maritime iRacing League. I tell you what, fantastic group of Canadian drivers. This 2nd time around for ETVLIVE with Tim Terry and his group, and some pretty good racing here tonight. Evan, while we go ahead and step away, let's take a real quick commercial break as we get things sorted out here. You're watching live, ETV Live, so don't wander off. We'll be right back.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
The green flag back out here at the Lanier National Speedway just seconds ago, but hell, that's given him a chance to do 1 or 2 laps already. Dylan Duval pulling away to a 7-car length lead. A little bit of a battle for third is going to settle down right now as the 61 of Ricky Arbeau now makes his way around the 52 of Stefan Arsenault, and they are side by side behind him for the 6th position. That is the 27 car of Carter Wilson on the inside of the 88 of Kevin Savory, battling hard in the 3.
You know, unlike New Hampshire, Martinsville probably another one, you know, the inside lane seems to be the preferred lane here with the late model cars here at Lanier. Of course, this is only a 3/8 mile track and about the same amount of banking on both ends as you'd find at, say, Martinsville or New Hampshire. But back here with Carter Wilson, 6th position, 27 car, he got out of shape just a little bit, and it doesn't take much, Cowboy, but I'll tell you what, they're pushing speeds about almost 100 miles an hour at the end of the true straightaways here. That's still considerable speed when you got to get on the brakes, get on the binder, and get into the turn.
Yeah, it'd probably take the 4-cylinder I drive about 9 seconds to get up there, so definitely some fast race cars for sure on the racetrack. The 15 of Mike Alexander has just lost the spot. The 88 of Kevin Savory in 9th has actually just taken the 8th position away from him. That battle has gone on ensuing. Actually, the 88 benefited from that side-by-side in front of him, which is how he was able to set up on that 15 of Mike Alexander. Already 16 cars only on the lead lap. How about the 75 of Tim Terry, not qualifying, starting 22nd, second to last car in the lead lap right now in 15th. Definitely a fast car. You mentioned him earlier. Some aggressive driving, trying to get his way up to the front as well.
And let's throw a shout out to the 86 machine down here. He's 19th position, but I tell you, really struggling. 4 laps down, heavily damaged car. He's just looking to turn the laps and maximize the points here as much as possible. But Jeff Gimlet having a tough time here, back here in 19th position. A lot of cars going past him as he stays up here on the high line. The 88 now coming around. That's Kevin Savory down there on the bottom. Makes it past and then falls in behind Carter Wilson and the 27 machine. So looks like they're getting things sorted out here a little bit, Evan, and we may see some long runs here finally.
Well, we just had a position change for the 3rd spot. Take a look at the 3rd place car now is the 48 of Jake Goodwin. Goodwin made his way around. These guys got to get going, especially if a green flag run is going to come out if they want to stay on the lead lap and be in contention.
55 laps in the books here at Lanier Speedway, and we're here tonight with the MIRL, Maritime iRacing League, out of Canada. A lot of Canadian drivers gathered for this event, and we've got a full season with. Goes around. I'll tell you what, 3 wide at Lanier, probably not a good thing as we roll it backwards here. And I'll tell you what, an e-ticket ride, the 9 car I think he just barely missed that inside wall down there as he sits and waits for all the traffic. And
the way that restart was, it's only going to get better, I think, till the end here because there's a lot of hungry hounds there up there at the front.
To the 98 of Stephen Matthews up in the front here now, and the 55 working his way forward as we get the green flag. Off to a run and start here. Duvall almost looking to the inside on Arsenal, but couldn't get the job done. McCabe couldn't get the job done. So was almost looking like and around goes 42 and 97.
He
still green.
Wow, Dylan Duvall throws it in, makes contact with the 97 of Ronald McKay. 42 to the front, but not making any friends while he's doing it. Let's see how this thing shakes out. 97 saying that's the 2nd time he's gotten into me. A lot of tempers should be turning up here late in the going. What a way. I mean, the 42 threw it in there, and I mean, it's better than going in the wall because that 97 was sideways, but a really gutsy move to get him up to the lead.
And the 98, Stephen Matthews almost losing it off of turn 2. That's going to be 6th position back here. He's side by side with the 55 machine of Tracy Foster right now, but Matthews almost lost it, able to hang on to it as the race continues here at Lanier. But I'll tell you what, a battle up in front. There's going to be some, and a caution back out again.
Taking a look, can't find quite the cause of the caution yet. We're going to take a look, but the caution definitely out here on lap 98. This will be our 4th caution, I do believe, and actually the officials have thrown the caution, so it was not directly from an incident on the racetrack. Actually, there was an incident on the racetrack. I don't think the sim threw the caution, and the officials did. Looking like
the 5 car.
The 24
or no,
spun collecting the 5. That 24 car belongs to Mark Williams. Looks like going into turn 3, got a little bit of help from the 9 car, and 24 went around, and then the 5 came in and made additional contact with that. So that's what's going to put us under our 4th caution, I do believe, of the night.
Yeah, I don't know why. Well, of course, the cars may have been still moving, but I mean, the 24 does a 360, so I'm not quite sure why the caution flag would not have thrown. I mean, this is a short track. It's just a matter of seconds before these guys come back around and have to face that 24 doing a pirouette, triple axle down the back stretch, or down the front stretch. So anyway, caution number 6 here at Lanier.
Well, 2 minutes later, less than 50 to go. And I'm looking forward to this restart because, again, Dylan Duval not making any friends, getting his way up to the front, and it seems like he's rattled a couple people's cages tonight so far. We're going to actually go on board with the 97 of Ronald McKay. Remember, just laps ago, Duval kind of went to the apron and moved the 97 out of the way for that lead. We know the 42 has the fastest car. Will the 97 give him a little bit of a shot? I guess we're going to find out here on this restart.
You bet. And, you know, and I know Tim Terry quite well, and he runs a pretty tight ship. So, you know, I don't know. There may be a call to the red hauler after the race. Of course, I mean, this is a Canadian outfit, so I don't know if they have red haulers or not, but it would certainly suit. Lights are off on the pace car coming out of the backstretch into turn 3 here. Now, the entrance is right kind of in the middle of the turn here. That pace car will make a real quick dive off. Got to get out of the way of that 42 for sure as we get the green flag. And the 42 is off with the 97 in tow.
97 did not get going. It looked like he made a little bit of an effort to kind of get into that right rear yes, of Dylan Duval. Just kind of let him know he's there. Duval's going to open up the lead. Now we're side by side for 3rd. The 52 car on the inside, that's Stefan Arsenal, is actually going to get passed by the 34 of Mike Rhino. So Rhino, after starting in 30, dropped back around to the 10th position early on in the going, has found the speed in that race car and is now trying to claw himself back up front.
That's the first time that I saw a pass on the outside, but then Rhino has been pretty fast all night as he works himself forward to 34 of Mike Rhino that is sitting here in 3rd. But however, I don't think it's going to last very long as he takes a little piece of a wall with him. We call that a souvenir here on ETVLIVE. At 22 going past him down there, almost getting lost. 34 again into the wall.
And definitely just trying to get things sorted out side by side. Now it's the 27 of Wilson working his way around Rhino. Rhino made that pass on the top, but now didn't protect the bottom enough, which allowed Arsenal to get back below him, and now he is getting freight trained. 88 around, 34 smacking the wall there off 4. That's going to allow the 88 by him, the 48 by him. He is way up the racetrack, so trouble for Mike Rhino late in the going here. Maybe overdriving the car a little bit, but he probably has a little bit of right side damage on that car. Going to try to get back in line.
And it sounds like, I think I just heard somebody on the radio, something about tightening up the car. I think that might have been Tim Terry, in fact. But I tell you, a tough night here at Lanier. These guys been duking it out from the get-go. And I got a funny feeling there may be some thrown helmets on pit road after the race here tonight. But 111 laps in the books. Watching the 88 machine, Kevin Savory back here, 6th position. As I think that's the 48 machine of Jake Goodwin just goes past. So with, I believe it's 14 cars on the lead lap. Tim Terry in the 75 back here in 14th. He's the last one on the lead lap. And Mark Wood, and the 48 goes around.
Jake Goodwin, big damage, caution out, lap 113, was running in the 6th position. We're going to try to take a look at what happened here. It goes back to coming off of turn number 4, 27 car of Carter Wilson, the 5th place car, getting major loose off of 4, goes overcorrects it, goes into that outside wall, and the 48 right behind him had absolutely nowhere to go. That 27 is crab walking quite a lot. The 48 car, after getting spun down there on the inside, didn't get into the inside wall, but had a little bit of net code and phased through that 27, which has just tore up all of the sheet metal on that race car.
And the 88 certainly didn't help matters much. He comes up into the back of the 48. Of course, it's probably a tough time coming off the turn. Can't see what's in front of the 48. Plows into the 48 as the 48 gets off the throttle. And so the 88 machine takes quite a bit of damage on the front end of his machine. That's Kevin Savory down there. So exciting night at Lanier Speedway tonight. And 113 laps in the books here. Duvall still out in front with Ronald McKay. I don't think this thing's going to be over even after the checker flag falls. Do you, Evan?
Well, you were talking about that. I guess that's one thing that you could relate short track racing to a super speedway race, is that the only person that's not going to be pissed off at the end of the night is the guy in victory lane, because a lot is going on here all over the racetrack. And again, it looked to me that the 97 just kind of gave that 42 a little bit of a tap there on that restart. He's going to be next to him again. Clearly, I don't think anybody right now has the car to beat that 42. He was up front, dropped back to 6th, made 2 very aggressive moves, got back up front, and I don't think really anybody can touch him right now unless he were to make a mistake or make some contact with a wall and mess up his race car right now. But with just over 30 laps to go, with 14 cars still battling for positions on the lead lap, going to be interesting to see how that turns out. You were talking about Tim Terry, last car on the lead lap. It's actually 3 laps down now in 17th position after taking on some damage. I think that might have something to do with his statement about tightening up the car.
It could be. Getting ready to go back to racing here as the pace car pulls off. The green flag comes out. Watching Dylan Duvall up there in front make another mad dash. But this time the 97 stayed right on the bumper from the get-go. Keith Mack in the 22 machine up on the outside of the 52. That's Stephen Arsenal on the bottom here as things start piling up here in front. But for me,
still side by side right now for third. The 52 of Arsenal is going to pick up the spot. I do believe Keith Mack on the top, now under attack from the 88 of Kevin Savory, and then the 98 of a Stephen Matthews on the back bumper of the 22. Now the 98 going to drop down to that bottom lane. You really want to get down. Oh, contact now maybe. 88 is going to throw it down on the inside of the 22, trying to make it stick. Again, that inside is the preferred lane. 22 wanting desperately to get back down. The 98's in the wall. These guys are all over the racetrack trying to get any spots they can.
I'll tell you what, my experience at Orange County Speedway, it was like a three-wing boxing match with a couple of drivers after the race. At least they take their helmets off. It's not like them NASCAR sissies that leave their helmets on and do nothing but shove one another. But I'll tell you what, some exciting nights at any short track race across America. But tonight it happens to be at Lanier. Duvall out in front with McKay trying to chase him down. Stephen Arsenault in the 52 machine has worked his way forward here from a ninth position start here on the qualifying. But I tell you what, as the 97 gets a little bit loose out in front of the 52, so night ain't over yet. 125 laps in the book, 25 more to go here at Lanier.
Definitely taking a look for battles on the racetrack. Only 11 cars on the lead lap at this point in the race. Everybody just trying to hang on for all that it's worth, trying to pick up a couple more spots and stay out of a wreck here in the closing laps. You really don't want to work hard all night long and then get caught up in something in the last few laps trying to get more than it's worth. So a lot of drivers trying to play smart, but again, your race leader Dylan Duvall is just the fastest car on the track all night long and continues to pull away from a Ronald McKay. McKay tried to maybe look to the inside on that last restart, couldn't get it done because Duvall just on those fresher tires, remember, he made a pit stop which dropped him back to 6th. So those top 5 guys that stayed out in front of him just don't have the little bit of an advantage that those guys picked up by coming down pit road, and that's why Duvall, on top of having the fastest car all night long, just continues to pull away.
And Mark Williams in a 24 car back here in 11th position. He's the last car on the lead lap. Tracy Foster, first car 1 lap down on the 55 machine. So I tell you what, the 55 working hard to try to get up past that 24 machine here. But you're getting kind of crowded back here. Duvall is pretty much on his own up here, about a second, let's call it 1.1 out in front of Ronald McKay. So with 131 laps in the books, they are starting to click off quick here at the as we wind this thing down. But certainly good performance by these drivers here tonight at Lanier Speedway.
Definitely a great way to kick off the season. Taking a look, Duval has about half of a straightaway or 3/4 of a straightaway until he reaches lap traffic. So he's negotiated that well all night long to this point in the race. So if he just keeps a cool head and doesn't get over aggressive with those lap cars, it's his race to lose at this point. Again, everybody still shuffling positions 1 or 2, trying to pick anything else up. No real major battles on the racetrack. In fact, everybody on the lead lap is separated by about a second from each other, except for 5th and 6th. 5th place car, the 88 of Kevin Savory, is having a little bit of pressure from the 22 of Keith Mack. Mack about 2 car lengths off this time by, and Dylan Duval right now, next time by the stripe, it'll be 15 laps to go.
And Enrique Arabo, who started outside of Dylan Duval at the beginning of the race here, finds himself back here, still inside the top 10, but running in 7th, 61 car. Back here in back of the 22 of Keith Mack. But Arbo, who was really showing his stuff here late in the race, looked like he might have been able to put something together, but I think he's pretty much lost the handling on that machine. The 61 having a tough time here now, pretty much buried back here around 7th position. So, and then Mike Rhino in back of him, actually quite a ways in back. Mike Rhino, a 34 car back here, who was looking to have a good night. He started up there in 3rd position, 2nd row, but he's also back here in 8th position behind Arbo.
Again, this is part 2 of the 2013 MIRL Maritime iRacing League campaign back on ETV Live. Tonight's race, the Rustic Auto and Towing 150 at Lanier. Again, Rustic Auto and Towing, collision repair, custom painting, restoration, all minor and major repairs. Licensed mechanics located in Hampton, New Brunswick. Call 506-832-1944 and they'll get you fixed up. Tonight's title sponsor of the race tonight, again, also associated with Tim's Corner Motorsports, Tim Terry, getting this deal together.
All right, and I think I heard Laura say that we're going to do a little bit of side-by-side here. Dylan Duval still out here in front as he works his way around lap traffic. Ronald McKay in the 97 machine trying to run him down, but I'll tell you what, Duval's pretty much on his own, I hate to call it planet because this ain't that big of a track, but 2.6 seconds out in front of McKay. McKay's really got his work cut out for him. His lap really starting to wind down. A moment ago it was 131. Now it's 142 in the books. So really on the short side of things here at Lanier Speedway. But I'll tell you what, some pretty fantastic racing here tonight. Mark Williams still the last car in the lead lap. Tracy Foster still trying to run it down, try to get at least that 1 lap back. And the 55 car back here ain't going to have time to do it, I don't think. But some good stuff happening here at Lanier, and I'm glad we're doing it with MIRL.
And definitely that 24 of Mark Williams, 11, definitely going to try to battle. He has a damaged race car, has obviously been caught up in some of the incidents tonight, trying to hang on to that lead lap in the closing laps, 13 seconds off the leader. Dylan Duval fastly approaching behind him, but Duval now stuck behind lap traffic, the 48 of Jake Goodwin, 5 laps down. So 2 lap cars side by side in front of our race leader, a 3.4 second lead, however, for Duval, trying to hang on as now the 24 of Williams does indeed lose his lap, which puts the number 9 of Craig McDonald in the 10th position, the last car on the lead lap, as we have 5 to go.
And I'll tell you what, on the short side of things here, the 98 car, Stephen Matthews up here, 3rd position. He's got 97 machine dead ahead, looking on the outside to make the pass. 97 covering the field here. The 97, oh, good, 90 gets hit and goes around. This may be a game-changing ender here as the 98 goes around. I'm trying to roll it back here. And he got punted by somebody. I believe it was the 52 machine of Steven Arsenault. The 98 and the 98-97 were kind of playing with each other here up on the top side. And then here comes the 52 machine and just kind of helps things out up here.
I definitely wouldn't call that some fun games that they were playing. 98 got into the right rear of that 97 of Ronald McKay, 2nd place car, and 98 lost speed from that getting out of the gas. The 52 right there just punted, again, that 98 around the racetrack, and that's going to bring out the caution, which will indeed end the race. So Dylan Duval, race leader, fastest car all night long, made his way in here by transferring in, winning the Monday night Sportsman race. A little bit of hard racing, getting him up front, fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, and fastest to the checkered flag. It is the 42 going to victory lane.
You know what? Typical short track action here. At any given track. I mean, it just happens to be Lanier with the Maritime iRacing League tonight. Canadian late model drivers, and my experience with these guys here. As we got. Tim Terry gives a little bit of a love tap here on the track, but my experience with these guys from a couple seasons ago when we broadcasted them, I mean, it's just some fantastic racing. I love the short track stuff. I tell you what, Tim Terry's group out of Canada really knows how to put on a pretty good show, and I think that's what we saw here tonight.
Yeah, I'm from Canada, but I can't drive, so I just talk like I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, great race at the Lanier National Speedway. Good hard battle. Again, 150 laps. It flew by here. We saw battling all over the track. Top 10 are going to be the last 10 cars on the lead lap. The 42 celebrating by doing some drifting around this 0.38 mile racetrack. Good win for Dylan Duval and good racing overall. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll come back to wrap things up on ETV Live. And we are back here live for the post-race show from the Lanier National Speedway, race one of the fall season, so to speak, on the 2013 campaign with the Maritime iRacing League has come to a close. Dylan Duval going home with the victory. However, I'm down now on pit road with the number 88 car of Kevin Savory. Kevin, qualified fourth. You're going to finish third. Obviously, a great night out for you and your team.
Yeah, can't complain. The car worked good. Just avoid the cautions and bring her home at the end.
I have to say, for all the crazy action that we saw all over the racetrack, for being up front all there, you seem to mind your P's and Q's from what we saw. How did the race go from behind the wheel?
The race went well. Just like I said, stay out of the wrecks and take her to the end.
And definitely a great night out for sure. Looking forward to next week and throughout the season. Can you build on this, and hopefully we'll see you in victory lane soon?
Oh, I hope I'm due.
Well, fair enough. Hey, congrats on your top 3 finish. Any shout-outs you want to throw out there? Who do you want to thank for making this happen?
Thanks to CBC Racing, all the practice laps we put in.
And definitely, well, hey, good luck next week, and congrats again on your 3rd place finish.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, JD, I think you're down there somewhere on pit road with our 2nd place finisher, the 97 of Ronald McKay.
Ronald McKay, I'll tell you what, he's a crew member for Sean Waterfield. Started out the race here tonight I can't find you, in 7th position back here, a few rows back, but I tell you what, it didn't take long to get up in front. Talk about your race, Ronald.
Yeah, it was a good race. We had a really good car there at the first. We were just kind of putting laps on. We weren't going too hard, just kind of trying to stay with the boys up front. The 42 was the class of the field. I don't think anybody had anything for them, but we went in there with I don't know, maybe 60 or so to go, and made a pit stop and took 2 right side tires, and the car didn't like it. We got extremely loose. I couldn't run nearly as hard as I could at the start of the race. So at the end there, I was just hanging on, and Steven and I were battling there at the end. I don't know what happened to him there. I don't know if he got turned when we kind of got all bound up in the middle of the corner or what, but it was a good run. Our Action Car and Truck Accessories Dodge Charger was good, and we'll just move on and see how we do from here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I wasn't, well, I don't know if I can say I was a NASCAR fan, but I am fast becoming a short track fan. Talk about the track here for a minute. Now, I'm familiar with, the New Hampshire, Martinsville, where the outside lane seems to prevail in the Cup car, but you get down here at Lanier, this is a 3/8 mile track, a little bit shorter. The outside lane, tough to get around. Is the bottom lane pretty much the preferred lane here?
Yeah, you have to do most of your passing on the bottom. I don't think I seen any of the cars up front that I was racing with tonight pass anybody on the top. You got to get it to the bottom, and the car has to rotate through the middle, but at the same time, you got to be able to get back on the fuel hard, and sometimes that's hard to do. And when the car's a little bit free on entry, it makes that tough. You got to wait on it that extra second, and makes it vulnerable for the guy behind you. All he's got to do is just touch you there, and I know Dylan touched me there once. I don't know how much room he had, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I just couldn't get back to the fuel. I got in easy, and like I say, I didn't have anything for him anyway. But that's just one of them things. You got to be able to make it through the whole corner, and definitely the top side is not the place to be. It wasn't tonight anyway.
All right, now you got to help me out here a little bit. You're out of Sydney, NS. What exactly is NS? I'm not Canadian.
That's Sydney, Nova Scotia. That's
I should have known that.
I'm actually from Cape Breton. We're down in the end of it there. So I'm a Cape Bretoner myself.
There you go. You know what? I don't have a lot of experience with Canadians, but I'll tell you what, I do have a lot of experience with Tim Terry and his group here, and I tell you, he puts on a hell of a show. We had this experience with him here, a couple seasons back, and it's been a ton of fun. Who are you going to thank out there, bud?
Well, first of all, I think we should thank Carl Rayburn and Rustic Auto and Towing for putting this deal on. Without sponsors, you're pretty much done. Action Car and Truck Accessories, Tim's Corner Motorsports, and Target Hydraulics. They're all my sponsors, and thank you very much.
Outstanding. All right, I think Evan's caught up with our race winner tonight up there in Victory Lane, the 42 machine. That belongs to Dylan Duvall.
Yeah, JD, I'm Canadian, so if you need any help with some terms, just let me know. But we're here in the Victory Lane with your race winner, Dylan Duvall. Dylan, fastest car in practice, fastest in qualifying. I guess there's no better way than to sweep everything at the beginning of the season and end up in Victory Lane.
Yeah, the car was extremely good tonight. Just you had to be down on that bottom, and luckily with me having the lead, I was able to sort of get a jump on the field, and that's just because how powerful the bottom was compared to the outside. Sort of really helped me go along tonight.
And definitely, we saw you start up front, you led every single lap, you came down pit road, went back to 6th, got your way back up front really quickly. Talk us through the mindset going into that pit stop.
Yeah, well, I knew I had about a 75 to 80 lap setup, and after that I started to burn off the right rear. So I figured that it was actually right around 80, I believe, we came in and made a pit stop. I believe I came in the same time that Ronnie did, and I ended up getting 4. I barely had enough time to do so, only put a little bit of gas in it. And I got 4 tires and barely made it out in front of the pace car, and when you get back there, I tried to make the outside work because I knew everyone was fighting for the bottom. I could stay equal with everyone up there, it's just I couldn't actually make time. So I jumped down to the bottom and sort of started making passes. I went 3 wide once, and someone on my outside didn't, I don't know, just guess it couldn't hold it, and they end up wrecking, and that put me 3rd, and accidentally got into Ronnie there a bit. I drive it in a lot deeper than him, like he was saying, and he was sort of coming down while I had just gotten my nose there, and I ran into him. It was my fault. Thankfully, he saved it. I would have felt bad if he wrecked it. And yeah, it was pretty much free sailing from there.
And you won Monday night's race to race your way into this race, and then you ended up taking home the checkered flag. If I'm reading this correctly, you finished 28th in the points earlier on in the season. I'm sure you're looking for a points championship this part of the season. I do believe next week we were going to Irwindale. What are your thoughts on that track?
I don't know. I'm not a late model guy. I run the Cup car, and I'd have turned maybe like 10 laps at Irwindale, so should be interesting for sure, because I don't really know the track well, so yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting. I don't really know what to say.
Hey, fair enough. Yeah, I guess we could say you know a thing or two about that Cup car. Again, great night, ending up in victory lane, looking for a good points, obviously, in this second half of the season. Who makes it happen for you?
I have to thank GX Gaming, Tim's Corner Motorsports, Gary Mercer Trucking Inc., JDR Graphics, Linguistic, and everyone else who helps me, my teammates on Phantom Racing for all their help. And I think that's it.
Well, hey, hell of a job. Congrats on your win. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Well, JD, I think that just about does it. First race of this part 2 of the 2013 campaign in the books after 150 hard-fought laps. I guess what's your take on this short track racing? I know you're a big fan of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't get enough of it, and I'm glad Tim Terry brought his group back to ETVLIVE, because if I'm not sitting up here in the booth, I'll be downstairs in the engineer's room with Laura pushing the buttons, and I will be watching for sure. But I did bring Tim up here in the booth and asked him to come up, just a couple of words. Tim, I mean, this is typical short track racing, what we saw here tonight. Nothing less than what I've seen in any other track. So what's your perspective on the race tonight, real brief?
I was really impressed. Our goal was to bring in the top 24 last year. You saw we had 40 cars, and we had, I think, 40 cautions in our first race at Lanier. Our goal was to bring in the top 24 drivers and put on a show, and I think we saw that here tonight. Obviously, my night, not what I expected. I'm sure Laura got a couple of shots of the dinged up front end of the 75 car, but nevertheless, exciting race. We'll go through the incident report and everything else. Me and JD Laird and everybody else that goes through all the incidents will come back next week, and we'll try Irwindale. Irwindale's a big racetrack. Should make for some great racing. I can't wait for it. If anybody out there wants to hop on board, we're looking for a couple of more sponsors this season for the MIRL Super Series. Get a hold of me, mirl.ca, and get involved, because these guys are talented. It's a great field of guys, great group of guys to get involved in. And once again, thanks to Carl Rayburn and Rustic Auto and Towing for coming on board for the season opener. Going to be a long 20-race season, JD. I can't wait for this one.
You bet. I'll tell you what, I'm excited to have MIRL back in the saddle here on ETVLIVE. And I want to throw a quick shout out to J.D. Laird down there. I know him from way, way, way back when he was just a young man. He lives out here on the same coast that I do, but big shout out to Jelly down there. But Evan, dude, I'll tell you what, first race in the books, and can't wait for the second one.
Yeah, definitely fair to call it a success. Great night out at the Lanier National Speedway, 150 laps. I mean, we saw action all over the racetrack, guys battling, a couple bumpers banging, a couple spins, but that's just the intensity of the short track racing. JD's yelling at me to close it out. I guess he wants to get over to Channel 1 for the USTRA, some more short track racing. So if you guys are watching live, make sure to check that out. But for JD Webb, Laura Lawson pushing the buttons on the camera, for Tim Terry getting this thing set up, my name is Evan Pasoko, and we will see you next week at Irwindale.
HD Radio Network. Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETVLIVE, sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.